Hey, girl.
Hey, hey.
Hey, Angel. I'll wait a couple minutes. I know Kenny's hanging around. Guys, if you guys, we had movie night last night. We watched Don't Breathe. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I can't even.
Oh, you got a little raccoon with you tonight.
It's for the dumpster diving.
Hello, Jessica. You're bad. Hello, Kenny. Yeah, we got some good, like, I think it's like crazy, but it's really interesting stuff tonight. But then first, we're going to have to tell you guys about our phone call to the FBI. Hey, Kaz. Yeah, tell them. We can start talking about our phone call today. I was like dumbfounded.
So, a few days ago, we came across a Facebook page, and Kaz and I were looking at it, but I think Mar was looking at the Heidi Plank situation, so it didn't quite hit her. But when she saw what we saw this morning, she called me so fast, freaking out. She she agreed what we
Okay,
were seeing
I
was not
wasn't
good.
freaking out though. I was just
Oh,
like, what in the entire F is this?
what we were seeing wasn't okay. That basically. So she decided we needed to get on the phone with Tampa Police Department right away, which we did. And they immediately transported us to the FBI.
Transported us.
Transferred.
God, thank God they didn't transport us to the
Oh, Lord.
FBI.
Yeah, well, we weren't expecting that. The series of questions that was asked at first was, if you have any tips regarding Gabby Petito, my jaw hit the floor. And then it went on to talk about the January 6th riots, etc.
And
Finally,
then,
we
of
got to our
course,
number.
the identified John Doe 45 that we're going to definitely have to see about tonight, real quick at the
Absolutely.
end. And then the John, if you knew about who John Doe 45 was, and I'm like, thank God we're not being like at a bank robbery right now, being held hostage. Like these questions, holy cow!
Yeah, you had to go through like a 15-minute waiting period just to get to where you needed to go. But once we
I
got
was
on the
not,
line with the
yes,
woman,
Jessica, I was not recording the FBI's phone call today.
she probably thought we were crazy at first.
And
Um,
then, and then Iconic was saying a couple of things in the background, and finally she goes, "Am I talking to two people?" I'm like, "Yes, ma'am, you are."
So that was a lot of fun. They basically took our tip. It didn't sound like they knew anything about the Stephanie and April situation, so we kind of had to inform them on that. That was also interesting. Um, and then finally, after taking the tip, they led us over to the missing and exploited children's tip line. So we had to also file a report there as well.
Oh, poor Angel. You need a hug? Oh, she had a bad day today.
Aww. Well, we're here now, so we've got you.
And we should be ready. I think the 7th will be the protesting in Tennessee. I can't wait for that.
You think they're going to have service so we can watch?
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to have service. I mean, down in Kansas have to use their Wi-Fi. I don't think they're going to let them use their Wi-Fi. I don't think they're going to get past the chain entrance to 110 Ben Hill Road.
I'm going to be very disappointed if I don't get to see that protest.
Yeah, me too. I hope they're going to be. I mean, I hope they pack lunch boxes too, because I don't think any food delivery goes out there. I mean, not that I would know or anything, but I can't imagine food being delivered to. I can't imagine there being DoorDash.
I don't think Pizza Hut or anything would even go that far.
Kaz. So what are we going to talk about tonight? I am going to at the end. I want to read PB&J's comment regarding Heidi Plank, even though that's just like completely super glued lips now.
Yeah, I'm worried that one's going to go radio silent. So
Nah.
we have a little bit of information on our April situation. Not really information, would you say? More like,
Oh, this is some crazy, crazy. And we Iconic's been speaking back and forth with Heidi's husband,
no,
or
not
the
Heidi,
husband. I mean, oh my
April.
gosh, April's husband, the husband that she was with for 10 days, and he has woo.
He can't say a lot right now, but he has a lot to say, and he is very ready to come up and share with us. I'll say that.
But tonight, until he said, I think we need 3 days.
He said 7. He
Okay,
said
seven
December
days.
14th.
Yeah, but he's going to let us go ahead and use the thread that he was going back and forth with people regarding April. And there's some crazy this right here is one that this is like a total book, movie, something.
Yeah, I was kind of reading it in disbelief, like, Mar, I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah, it was a
She thinks
busy
I'm
day with
crazy
that.
as it is. And then when I come out with stuff like this, I'm pretty sure she's going to block me at some point.
That's why I'm like, no, 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 we need to get a hold of him. Let's talk to him. Yeah, he's going to come talk to us. This is April's husband. April was the one that was the little girl's mom from that strange little cat video that Robert Kessler has full custody of, even though he's not the biological father. And the little niece is, right, Sarah Gray and her sister in law, the black lady.
Yeah, and I'm still trying to figure out her name. I meant to go back and listen for that earlier.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But, yeah, interesting stuff. We're going to get into it in a second. What else is there before we get into these messages? Because I
Um,
think there's 27 of them.
yes, there's 27. So yeah, other than
So
that,
tell the story what we knew about April. So supposedly April, did he ever answer back if Stephanie and April knew each other?
he hasn't responded back on that one yet.
Okay. And I'm really curious to know if he actually knew Stephanie too.
Me too.
April is the little girl's mom. That video with the cat and stuff, and she had the little mask on him, the anonymous mask. That's April Thompson's daughter. She was the one that was found in the fetal position in an apartment in the second bedroom, but he didn't see her the first time.
Correct. And I think it's even the first 2 times when we get into those messages. So
No, Alma. They they went and picked up the girl Stephanie Crone's Overholt at the McDonald's. She was from Pennsylvania. But they went and met her after, was it after April died? But I think the times kind of pass each other to where they might have been around at the same time.
I do too. We're not 100% sure, but that's something else I can verify with him.
Hey, Sassafras. Yeah, we're waiting to see if he knew Stephanie. But Stephanie was like, she wasn't from Tampa. She was from PA, and that weirdo picked her up at McDonald's using the kid that he was
In custody of somehow.
and a kid that he was grooming. Because when I saw that video this morning, I'm telling you, I about did a backflip. It was mm. That Tampa guy said, that dish is out of our league. I'm going to have to transfer you to the FBI. I was like, huh? Oh, girl, we're going all the way to the FBI.
All the way to the top.
Right? Crazy. Yeah, this man, these text messages are mind blowing. I'm just gonna wait a couple more minutes, guys.
And y'all bear with me through these because I had to redact a few things because of his wishes and then just a few things that I knew shouldn't be in there anyway. So it's all going to come together. And we already went over the first part of this thread the other night. This is a continuance.
Yep. And some of the things that this guy has got, I mean, he's done some things that are absolutely mind blowing. All right. Okay, let me find these 20. That's why we were a little late, guys, because I had to make sure that I was organized. So we had to go back because, of course, I only had 25 of the 27 screenshots. But before we start, let's have a look at how much these two look alike. Let me get my little bots to the party.
Kenny, she didn't give him custody. She was having issues with CPS or DFS. It depends on the state. DCFS, whatever you want to call it, family services.
Yeah, it's
She,
DCF in Florida.
yeah, she was having drug issues and a couple of other things. And because she was living with Robert at the time, he also would have to take those classes. And whoever would pass those, if it was both of them, if it was her, if it was just him, that's who the child would be placed in the custody of. For whatever reason, at the time, several years ago, she wasn't able to pass her classes. She's still been working on it to this day, several years later. But Robert was only given like a behavioral, like a temperament class. It was something very easy, something he passed, no problem. So he received custody of the little girl. He didn't just get custody for no reason. She's been trying to get custody of her daughter until the day she died.
I don't know why images are not loading tonight.
Maybe it's all the snow. Yeah, she's
No,
in
no,
foster
no.
care.
It's just like, I think it's the program. Let me see something real quick.
She's in foster care, and her family, April's family, is in a fight of their life to get this little girl back. In fact, they didn't know at first where she was, if she was okay, what was going on with her. No one would tell them anything. It took them quite a lot to just find out that she was safe in custody.
I'll tell you what, since the images are not working tonight, I'm going to have to open each one from the cord and then just zoom in that way, which is fine with me.
Kenny, maybe the father should have had her, but maybe there were other reasons, because that's usually something the child people would investigate. Is there another option? Is the father clean? Is he capable of housing the child? Does he have a job, etc.? If there wasn't a way for him to take care of the child, DFS would have put a stop to that as well. They would have had to be cleared.
It goes really big or really small. So,
Okay, so April is not dead, so confident of the fact that I purchased a shovel from Home Depot and dug her up from her grave on the evening of October 4th or something. Or
so,
something.
so Gregory Perry is the father, I mean, not the father, the husband of 10 Days to April Thompson, the one who was found in the fetal position in the extra bedroom at the apartment. They wouldn't let him touch her, all that, right?
Correct. And we'll get to that.
Yeah. So then he says that he is going to, so he goes and he's going to dig her up.
Alma bio dad is found. He's in the picture, but not in the picture, if that makes sense. And he claims that however, that's a second class or a second degree felony in the state of Florida. Therefore, I can't do much about it. And he's called fake, being her death. The singular only time that I hung out with Lee, and Lee is Lee Kaiser, who we're going to find out more
Oh,
about.
yeah. We'll
It's a
get
new
into
player.
we got a new player.
The singular only time I hung out with Lee was the evening of April's death, because I had taken her to an NA meeting, and then the next picture should have that expanded.
Yeah, we'll go in there in a second because I want to look at chat too. Oh yeah, Kenny, this is crazy stuff.
Bear with us. We were capturing screenshots left and right, and the whole thread is gone now. So I'm lucky to have gotten what I got.
Yep.
They love to do that to me. This is in Florida.
Wait once.
Oh, I can scroll in. It's fine. So Gregory says, this cop knew exactly where she was in the house. I had searched in 3 times prior between coming and going looking for her. I left the front door intentionally unlocked for her to get back into the house. And there were 7 cops outside our door waiting for him to discover her in the bedroom. I called in a missing persons report. They dispatched 8 TPD officers to our house, 1 inside, the other 7 waiting outside. Once TPD number 1 goes and points her out in the second spare bedroom. Then they perform no CPR, dispatch no emergency services, do nothing, and will not allow me to touch her. Which is odd to me. I can't imagine that they wouldn't call in somebody. Oh, did we get out of order?
That's the order. That's 3.
Okay. The difference this time is that I married their confidential informant, and the spousal privilege applies to anything I discussed with her. They ask what her name was. He says April had 0 drug issues. I took her to NA every day to get her back or her black book signed for the Bob custody matter. Nothing was wrong with her from a drug perspective at all. We missed 5 meetings the entire time we were together.
No, Alma. When they were taking April out in the body bag of the place of their apartment they lived together, he wanted to touch her before they took her away to the morgue, and they
He
wouldn't let
wanted to
her.
kiss her goodbye. He wanted to kiss her goodbye.
Yeah, we'll get into that though. Okay, so this is 3. Hang on, I don't want to get out of order, guys. We kept this real organized tonight. Hopefully. I'm sure there'll be a screw up somewhere because you guys know it's off the beaten path.
Okay, yeah, the Kessler thing is completely bogus. Something wrong with all of it. And the problem is, their official narrative has me at his house dropping off April's belongings both during the period of the time that he was alleged to have murdered the girl and during the period of time when he was covering up blood stains on the new floor, on the floor with new carpeting, and with April's family stating to the media that she had died of an overdose also at Bob's house. We'll have to mark off got arrested on suspicion of helping somebody get rid of a body to my bucket list.
Yeah, well, maybe he just loved her so much. Some people can deal and they can see some. You got to keep up with the number that I'm on, girl. What was that, 4?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I think
One,
it was 4.
2, 3, 4. All right, this one looks new. This is 5. Share screen.
Other thing, there was a case with Kessler where he had assumed the identity of her biological father, that being April, Michael David Gray. It's all in the record. So Kessler was also involved with whatever legal proceedings could have been accomplished by using her father's identity. That's the way it started. But then
Wait. Okay, wait. Read that again. So who's Michael Gray? Who's the Michael Gray? What?
Michael Gray is the biological father of April. And
Okay.
Robert
Okay.
Kessler was assuming his identity for
Okay. And
the
Beth
various
Gray
reasons.
is her mother. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
April was amazing. I hope she's doing great wherever she's bouncing around now. And he truly believes she's still alive. Oh, and then Bridget says, maybe Lee didn't give her benzos and whatever he gave her killed her. I looked at his pics and I see he has a whole damn pharmacy in his house.
Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. All right. I don't know. I mean, I hope maybe you think he's paranoid, or do you think like he just really believes that? I mean, this man, I don't think he really ended up going to the place and digging up his. Did he really dig up the grave?
Well, I wasn't able to get the screenshot today because they removed it too quickly, but there was a picture of a shovel and it was all dirty. And I mean, I don't know, you guys. I don't know. So she talks about the pharmacy. He says, the mere fact that I am the person getting arrested for April's death and not Kaiser being investigated for providing her with the supposed illicit substances which caused her death, and which they have so far not released any information about, speaks volumes about ethics and professional credibility associated with the Tampa Police Department. And he says, I don't know, April was sent. He gave enough, or she gave enough hints. And then the love thing, whatever. And I'm not sure if he's talking about love in the sense of she has another profile named April Love, or if there was some other love situation happening that wasn't elaborated on. And if you guys have questions about any of this, ask, because I can ask him whenever we speak.
Okay, I think this is actually 8, maybe 7. I'm trying to stay on top of it. I mean, there's only 27. There has to be somewhere where I'm going to mess it up.
I don't know,
Hey,
Kenny.
Leisha.
It
Hi,
might be
Leisha.
Robert and it might be Lee Kaiser. We have a new player, so keep that in mind. He says, well, there's also this other issue. Apparently, the downstairs neighbor from us called in some sort of report that same night that April died about loud arguments in our apartment. We literally didn't argue once, and I was gone from probably 11:30 p.m. until, say, maybe 4 a.m. the next morning trying to find her. She says, well, why did Bob tell people they found April dead in a closet? Was she found in a closet? He says, so during that time period, there was some type of verbal confrontation here while I was gone. No idea. Big Lebowski stuff. Hot shot killing. Kenny, keep that in mind.
I mean, I cannot wait until he comes and talks to us about the other part.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm. Oh, this is bizarre.
She
So
said,
just think about it. You've got April, you've got Stephanie. Both of them were involved with Robert.
mm-hmm.
Robert took the woman's kid and has full custody of the baby now. Stephanie ends up dismembered. She ends up getting married in a fetal position, dead in the guest bedroom. But then you have another player who's going to come in who doesn't think that Kessler, oh, wait, guys, this is crazy.
So the woman says, I find it odd that anyone from the NA would tell April to take a benzo, even if it was prescribed. Addicts cannot take benzos at all. And he said, same. Didn't seem like sage advice for NA. And I'm pretty sure that Kaiser was meeting with her at various NA meetings. Literally, it was the only time we had been apart from minute uno until her getting zipped up in a body bag. And those NA meetings, um, in the body bag were those NA meetings and the one visit to the hospital I made. And she says, does Kaiser do drugs? Robert and Kaiser have a history of drugs, knackers, or Kenny knackers. So just hold on one second. Be very patient.
I'm on top of it, guys. Hang on. We're right on time.
Okay. Yes, April was. Oh, so he's answering her question about the closet. Yes, April was curled up on the floor in our second spare bedroom. I had checked in at least 2 times before calling in a missing persons report. Left the room, the front door unlocked each time, hopeful that she might make it back. Thought she had locked herself out. Our living room was torn apart. She had been cleaning the floors and couch, and the vacuum cleaner was disassembled on the floor to unclog the filter. According to April, Kaiser was into methamphetamines and whatever pill stuff he does from this veterans shelter next to the Bigfoot on the river. Couldn't make this shit up if I tried, as MonkieMar says. This whole thing is bizarre. I do think Bob is a serial killer 100%.
Let me find the next one. That's when I knew that I liked that guy when he made that comment. What was the last thing you said again? After
Uh,
he says
couldn't
you
make
can't.
this shit up if I tried. The whole thing is bizarre. I do
Yeah,
think
I
Bob
got
is
it.
a
I
serial
got it.
killer.
I got it. I
Yeah.
got it. I got it. That put me off track for a second because I remember that's when I'm like, you know what? Let's get a hold of this guy. Couldn't make this shit up if you tried.
How was Bob's relationship with Kaiser? And remember, Bob is Robert, okay? According to each other, they hated each other, but that doesn't mean much in terms of psyop stuff. She says, Bob was an evil man and he controlled April for a long time. She hated him and she was so happy to be away from him. She literally told everyone she saw in those 10 days that she got married and finally away from Bob.
Oh gosh, that's
It
sad.
sounds like she might have, or maybe it was something else, but yeah, it doesn't sound good.
Mm-mm-mm. You might want to pop out and pop back in. Your voice is getting a little
Okay.
roboty. Well, yeah, she'll tell you about the benzo and about how they show up at the house or something and she's asking for one and it's just so weird. Yeah, you'll hear about how the benzos get brought up. This part was a little shady to me.
It's all a little shady. So she says all of what she just said about her being happier and away from Bob. He says, yes, but her opinions of both Kessler and Kaiser dramatically changed within a few days of us getting married, like she had become scared or something and became withdrawn. And then she started talking about how her biological father was responsible for trucking around nuclear missiles or something comical. And that's when I knew an avalanche of bullshit was about to happen because we had gotten married and then she I spilled the
I
proverbial
love this guy,
milk.
an avalanche of bullshit. I like him.
I mean, that can you imagine marrying someone and then them coming out with that? I probably would be a little bit like, oh no, who the hell did I just marry?
Yeah. Let me find this. Did you finish this one?
Yeah.
All right. I didn't hear the. All right. I'm okay. Hang on. Let's go to the next one. I like the way the things that he says though is funny. I mean, I feel bad for him. Could you
YouTube
imagine
non-convictions. What is that?
you're married for 10 days and your wife is in a like? How do you, I'm still well PB and J. We're gonna touch on your comment after we touch on these messages from April Thompson's husband of 10 days. Could you imagine being married for 10 days and you? But I don't understand how. I mean, if you're in a two-bedroom apartment and you're looking for your wife, how do you not see her in the
Well,
other
that's
bedroom?
why he believes that she wasn't really dead in there and that it's a cover up.
Yeah, I get that.
So he says, pretty simple actually. If Kessler was in any way a bad guy, and if April was a resident of their house when the shit went down, the DEA or FBI or JTTF or TPD or whomever would have been at the leverage for a CI situation. Irrespective of her personal involvements, she would still be indicted as a co-conspirator because she shared the same domicile. And then we got married. So he's saying she lived with Kessler at the time that something was going down, and potentially it would have come back to her, and she was an informant. So
now we have April as an informant. So April gets paid by the police to give them info probably on like local drugs, meth, whatever it was that she was into. So but listen guys, this is all what Gregory is saying. Is it true? We don't know. We have no idea if it's true. But this is what he is giving as far as his side of the story.
and if it's not true, and the fact that he's putting it all out there, that's even more questions. So I feel like it is our job to bring this to you guys.
Yes. And he told us that we were allowed to share the thread.
Yes. So she says,
Alma, your little bird is so cute too, by the way. That was the
oh my
cutest thing of the
goodness.
whole entire 2 hours last night of that. Those eyes. Oh gosh, that guy's eyes scared me. Okay.
She says, so Gregory, what you're saying is you think April is alive and in protective custody. Is that what you're saying? Why didn't you go to the funeral? He said, I couldn't do it. I got ready, got dressed up in a suit, and literally couldn't go because I didn't believe it. And that was just more JTTF psyop bullshit.
Okay, but wait. I thought so. He doesn't believe she was dead, but we have to remember that Robert Kessler supposedly snatched that LG to the casket to see her mom dead in the casket. So was that not her mom dead in the casket?
Again,
Exactly.
good question.
All right. Are you done with this one?
Let me make sure. Yeah.
Very strange shit. Mm-mm-mm.
Well, I don't know how they do it over there, but I know a lot of times funeral homes will be the one to do the care of the body here. So dressing, makeup, cleaning, all of that stuff, it doesn't get handled by the family in most cases.
Where is it? Oh, there it is. Yeah, usually they bring the clothes to the funeral home, and then the person that does like the makeup and stuff and the hair will dress them and get them ready.
So above that, he said $40 Home Depot shovel was a more effective approach. And she said,
I'm sorry,
it's not
but
funny, but
you
it's
can't.
just what in the hell?
You can't make it up how this guy just comes back talking about a Walmart shovel. I mean, what?
She said, Gregory, maybe you just don't want to believe it, and maybe it's easier to believe these stories, but it sounds like you know what could have possibly caused your death. He said, extremely confident that April Ann Thompson that I met and I loved is not in that cemetery plot. Winky face. And she says, although this stuff with Bob is very, very odd and something is definitely not right, mainly with these court dates and bookings, since when can you waive your right to have an appearance with a PD? Since never. And he says, you can't do that in Hillsborough County at all. Which, whenever we did the last video, we had talked about how Robert had pretty much refused to show up in court. And they were discussing how in Florida, if you refuse, they drag you into court in a chair, pretty much Hannibal Lecter style. But they didn't do that this time, so it's odd.
She said Hannibal Lecter style.
Well, that's what they said in the comments.
Oh my god.
Another
Yeah,
thing is,
wait. Angel's asking. Hang on, girl. Slow down. Because
okay,
then after these messages, we can go over a little bit with your guys' back and forth, but nothing like, just what he said about telling them and stuff. Like he's a character.
another thing is, while I was in the back of the squad car right after they arrested me for April's murder or manslaughter, Then Bob and Amanda showed up. They got out of his van and walked directly in front of the squad car I'm handcuffed behind and in the back of. I didn't give these TPD guys any information about Bob other than saying I went to his house looking for her. There was no possible way that Bob could have known what happened to her death unless TPD dudes directly called him and told him to show up. Which, I mean, honestly, have you guys ever heard of cops just calling people to a scene of a crime for no reason without them doing the investigation and everything first? I mean, not even immediate family necessarily.
Huh. But yeah, Hannibal Lecter is more of the Phelps. I think he would get along better with Phelps. But still, the question is too is like, where is Stephanie Crone's head?
Right.
Because if the bags were, well, I wonder if the bags opened up and that's how somebody saw the leg floating by.
I don't know, because from what I read, there were two sets of witnesses. One saw the bags going in, and one saw actual like tote bins going in the water. And the watercraft on the water went up to the bin, and when they smelled it, they called 911 immediately because they knew there was something bad in those bins.
Yeah, so maybe when the stuff went over, maybe it like jumped out or something. I mean, I don't know. Okay. Whew.
Okay, how did Bob know she died? He said, I say to pick her up whilst wearing my favorite hoodie and wearing a pair of shoes that a corpse likely does not need to have on in order to ride home to the morgue inside of a body bag. Right? There's no possible way that Bob could have known anything because I called in a missing persons report. TPD then dispatches 8 officers to our house, but only one goes inside. The others stand outside the front door waiting for an arrest, followed by Bob showing up in the parking lot within minutes after I get arrested for killing my wife.
I like this guy. I get I mean, he says that like, it just comes off, even though we can't hear him.
You
Oh,
can
here
hear
comes.
the saltiness.
Yeah, here comes Lee.
Oh, this one.
But
So yeah,
here comes
Lee
Claire.
actually is going to comment on this thread. So
Here comes a new player, guys, and you'll understand why from what happens now. Because not only does Gregory believe that April is not dead and she is not in the cemetery, but I'm sure that April's sister was at the funeral, and I have to believe that the casket was open and she saw her sister, or her and her sister-in-law, the black lady we watched, would not have said that they saw her and Kessler pulled her up and yanked the child. Oh, TG.
but maybe he just can't cope with the fact that she's gone, because a lot of times funerals are for people to go and see the body that last time, for it to absorb in your brain that that person's no longer with you. And since he didn't go
Yeah,
and
I
he
get
didn't really
that.
even get to see her when she died, I mean, he doesn't know, right?
Yeah, but that has, even though he's probably hoping that somehow she's not in it sounds like he really loved her. But
He
this
does.
really doesn't have anything to do with his beliefs that are going to go on from this point on. This doesn't have anything to do with digging up the body. Now this has to do with this new player who's coming involved. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yes, Angel. It was supposedly an open casket. So that's why his belief with her not being dead is could be what he's like still holding on to like stay afloat, because it happened only in September of this year. So it's not even like we're going on years of this happening. It just happened like a month and a half ago. No,
Hmm.
2 months ago. 2 months ago.
November, right? No,
No, September.
yeah, September.
And we don't know if it was the beginning, the end, or where it went. But so now let's go into, we've got a new player in the game of, what is it called? Clue?
Yeah, Clue.
Okay.
That's a great, yeah. Dug her up with a shovel, calling your bluff. And she says, I don't know. Nothing I'm saying is facts. If I knew, I wouldn't be trying to figure it out. But based on the things you've told me, that is what it sounds like. And here comes Lee. Do you want to go over to the next one because it'll have the entire thing? It'd be easier probably. Um, Jessica, so this is the April Thompson Stephanie situation, and we're talking about the new husband on a thread. He's speaking. That's Gregory Perry. And then Lee Kaiser's going to come onto the thread. That's a new player. And we have to remember Robert Kessler is the guy who is being charged and held right now for dismembering a woman and potentially killing April and maybe even a third victim. So,
Yeah, he dismembered Stephanie Crone-Overholts, the one that had the tattoo of the hearts in her kid's name on her leg that was found during the Brian Laundrie thing that everyone thought maybe it was Brian Laundrie, but no, that body part belonged to Robert Kessler, who has the child that's not his, 7 years old, did have him with him, and the mother of that child, this is her husband, Gregory, of 10 days. And now this guy's,
and Lee
right?
Kaiser jumps in, yes.
And now here comes Lee Kaiser roll.
Mr. Perry is not telling the story the way it happened. He brought April to my house the day before she passed away. I still have the text messages that I exchanged with him and her before they got here. He brought her here specifically because he wanted to get her benzos. He showed up here drunk. She was driving his vehicle, and he shut down 3 benzos himself. And it was very weird that he brought her over here and that he would be okay with the idea of her getting that. But in any case, she was also found deceased in his apartment less than 24 hours after they left my place, where we had discussed strategies on how to help him and April get Amanda away from the free Robert Kessler. So Mr. Perry had repeatedly threatened to kill me. He told me how he would do it, and I still have all those text messages, as well as Mr. Carrot, aka Mr. Perry, is as much on my mind is as much in my mind the suspect in the death of April Thompson as Robert Kessler is. What her family believes is that they were in on it together.
Hmm.
In on it together. So keep in mind that this man was arrested immediately, talking about Gregory Perry, and was immediately let go.
Oh yeah, he was arrested all right. And we had the court stuff, but he doesn't want anyone to share this court stuff until after he finishes what he has to do. But we're going to go over a little bit of the messages with him from earlier that he said to us tonight.
He says, and it wasn't even like she was a junkie or something. These assholes were taking her to a methadone clinic with a doctor's prescription so that whatever they were doing with her estate, they did. I don't know. There's a land trust involved and a bunch of financial things involving her estate that need to be investigated, kind of like a Britney Spears conservatorship thing. I think she had wealthy relatives that trusted her with whatever, and then somehow somebody gained control.
This guy sounds so smart, but then he goes on with the like, I mean, he might not think the earth is round. We're going to have to ask, find out. He's hanging on to something. But this gets even weird, even more weird.
Bridget says DCF is the one that had her in DACO. Was she working a case? He said, and I helped them both draft legal settlement documents to resolve the protective order. It was extremely acrimonious. So don't think for a second that there was any love lost between Bob and I when dealing with the blank injunction, and that's the little girl. Ape notarized hers and let Bob.
Hang on one second. Kenny, this is the little girl that we called the FBI on today. Mm-hmm. This is who the little girl is. So that FBI phone call we made was because of what this poor little girl was doing on her Facebook while she was in the hands of that effing monster that dismembered Stephanie and just threw her into the water like a piece of meat. He should have
Ape,
his nads. He should have his nads cut off.
yes. He said Ape notarized hers and let Bob off the hook. Bob then, after giving me his word, did not sign his end of the deal, which meant that every time April and Blank and I were together was a violation of the restraining order.
Kenny, this little girl is
It's not
not
Robert.
Robert's biological child.
Her father's name is Jeff Woolridge.
His name is Woolridge. Woolridge. And we'll
It
show
is a
you
little
a
confusing
picture.
picture.
We'll show you a picture of the biological father after we get these done, and then we'll show you a more recent picture of April and Stephanie. Man, they gosh, do they look alike?
They could be sisters, honestly.
Yeah, they do look alike. And then we told the FBI too about the guy passed out on the bed. I think for a second they probably thought we were nuts.
What's new?
Am I talking to two people? Yes, ma'am. Iconic was like, and tell her this. She's like, wait a minute. Am I talking to two people? Give us all your information. Yeah, they wanted everything of information. Woo! I was like, keep your lights out all night tonight in case they come knocking.
Okay, so violating the restraining order that Bob had in place and potentially subjecting me to kidnapping charges if we ever got pulled over for it. So yeah, it's not like Bob and I had any type of even a congenial relationship prior to April's quote unquote passing. And it's all bullshit. And Bridget says, Gregory, do you smoke meth? Which, I mean, it's comical in that context that she's asking because we were talking about the meth at potentially Kaiser's house. So
That is so random. Like
it
this.
wasn't in the thread, I promise. But the way that the screenshot captured it, it looks like an
No,
insult.
I know. But you just pop in and go. Are you kind of like? Are you going to work today? Are you smoking meth? Oh, that is just. Oh, by the way, are you smoking meth? Kind of impressive how good I'm doing with these little screenshots tonight. So far, we watch this scrub up now, but so far.
I mean, I only sent you 30 of them. How are you going to get them out of order?
Well, I got 27, so there might be some at the bottom in there.
Okay, he said, Lee Kessler, nice to see you chiming in on matters, Kaiser.
Oh, hang on
Kaiser,
one
Lee
second.
Kaiser.
Jessica, we called the Tampa police. I didn't see that video of that little girl that day because I'm telling you, after the cat video on the top row, I was a little creeped out. Like the little girl, like made me feel uncomfortable. I just didn't like what I was seeing. But then today, when I woke up and I was sent a video on Facebook, that video that I turned in, and they said, "Why is this little girl naked?" And so I kind of skimmed through it, and I saw that she was like with a towel around her, but it kept slipping. And I thought to myself, I just did a backflip. I called her and I said, "Yeah, we're calling the Tampa police right now." And Tampa put us through to the FBI, and it was a God, that was like a 30-minute call with the FBI. It was long.
But I'm telling you, that's why that little girl has grabbed me. Honestly, with everything that I saw on that Facebook, I have not felt good about it.
Yeah, so we went to the FBI, and then the FBI sent us to the children exploit missing and exploited children center, and then we had to fill out the complaint into there to let them know. So if he gets charged with weird charges like that, then I think we might know where it came from. Yes, we did. I didn't see that before, Jessica. I would have done a backflip and been right on it, but I didn't go through her videos because that was the day that I made a right turn into the Heidi Plank situation.
Okay, yeah, I did. I'm gonna fix that right now. So she said, Gary, do you smoke meth? And he says, Lee Kaiser, nice to see Nice. Glad to see you chiming in on matters, Kaiser. So yeah, I did mess up. But he said, I do zero drugs other than medicinal cannabis, which I am prescribed for. I did, however, eat 3 of those benzos based on getting super bad vibes from Kaiser when he handed them to me instead of April. And I never do that shit. Like clockwork, April's OD that same night.
That's what makes you wonder, what did Kaiser give them? Yeah, Jessica, as soon as I saw that in my Facebook Messenger, I even screenshot it because we were on a call, Kaz, and Iconic and I said, as soon as I saw this right here, I was like, da, 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 da. I think I had the Tampa phone number within like a half a second.
I mean, if y'all saw that picture that people were claiming was Summer Wells in the bed and y'all were upset by that, this would have probably made you 10 times more upset.
Well, the reason why it makes you upset is because there's no question who this was.
Yeah, no question.
So I would love to punch Robert Kessler like right between the eyes. Okay, are we done with this one?
Yes.
He's a sick man, Robert Kessler, and now let's see this. What? But uh, here goes the throw ball.
Yeah, so like clock,
Curveball.
April's OD that same night after you, Kaiser, on camera, handed me the 3 benzos on behalf of the JTTF in order to set up a manslaughter charge. All bullshit.
Here comes.
Kenny, that's my suspicion, honestly. It really is.
It's something.
And Lee says,
But look at how long Lee's books are too, and this guy Lee knows a lot. And just guys, this is crazy. We've been so busy today between me having to go an hour down to somewhere an hour back, and then screenshots in the morning and conference call with Kaz. You know, we got to have Kaz up at like, you know, 1 o'clock in the
3
morning,
a.m.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning.
I know, Aaron, it is a lot to follow, and I'm sorry.
Hello, Aaron. Yes, this is a lot. We'll break down the players again at the end because this guy right here is a new player.
Hmm. So Lee Kaiser says, Bridget, I got off the phone with her sister Sarah a little while ago. I've been in regular contact with her stepdad Mike and her mom Beth for years. Coroner's report came back and said that she appears to have had an accidental overdose on a combination of crystal meth and heroin. Now she might have possibly used some sort of crystal meth, but I don't believe that she would hurt us by using heroin. Hold on, I lost my spot. Okay, Greg had done a good job, I believe, in helping her get off that, but I believe that crystal meth was laced with heroin, was probably brought to her. Wow, Greg was sleeping. By Robert Kessler. I don't know why he keeps putting periods. She was found dead in Mr. Perry's spare bedroom closet, and he is still the primary person of interest, but I suspect that will switch over to Robert Kessler because
So,
Robert Kessler,
so Robert Kessler supposedly brought the meth laced with heroin over to April.
that's what he's getting at.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just
because
making little mental notes because yeah, we definitely are going to get a whiteboard, and I'm getting the cork board because we need strings and we need thumbtacks and we need pictures.
yes, we do. Because Robert was just charged with second-degree murder and dismembering a body. And that is the man that Greg and April and I were working with to get her and her daughter away from. So Greg, April, and this Kaiser dude apparently were working to get LG away from Robert.
Okay, I think we have 2 or 3 more. And then we'll talk a little bit about the conversation with Iconic and Gregory. I think Gregory's cool. He may smoke a little too much pot and be paranoid, maybe, but I think he's cool.
Okay, and now he responds to Gregory. He says, "Now that makes a lot of sense there, Perry. Someone you talk to and personally come to bring your wife to see. Someone who you have hundreds of text messages with, where you say that all she ever had to say was positive about me. And anybody here can check with her family. All they've got to say is positive about me. I spoke at the woman's funeral. Where were you, Greg? I spoke to your wife. I spoke to your wife's funeral. You were not even there. Now, the idea that someone gives you goosebumps, you took 3 benzos from this person. That supposedly was handed to you instead of your wife. And I have the text messages where April and I spoke before y'all got here. And of course, I've got all those text messages that you sent me because I saved all that shit just in case I ever needed to have to show it up as evidence, although I never have really believed that you would come over here with a 22 pistol and shoot me. Never have really been concerned about that. You're not a killer. You're a decent guy." And then we'll have the next part on the screen.
Why in the world would he even bring up the fact that he's going to come over with a pistol and
That
kill
was
her?
so random. Unless it
Right?
was in text messages and he's trying to make a point.
Yeah, that's way too random. That's very, very strangely random.
Oh, Lisha. Oh, don't even say that. Please. 100% Jessica, so sad and frightening. This just flashed through my mind, especially thinking of Monkey saying she reminds me of one of the Shining twins. She could be permanently damaged and turned out to be a serial killer. Born in blood is all that comes to mind.
I don't want to think that.
I don't
She
want to
just,
think that.
yeah, I'm not trying to, she does, it's the resemblance and everything. She honestly looks like one of the Shining twins.
So he says, you're not a killer. You're a decent guy. You're just a bit crazy, but you're not a bad guy. And Bridget says, Gary, you should delete these comments that we're replying on so April doesn't see any of this one day, which he did. He says, again, literally purchased a shovel from Home Depot for $40, then dug up April with a 6-pack of Becks.
Oh oh
He
my
said took 4
God.
hours. Took 4 hours.
And he had to put in there that he got a Bex. Oh shit. Okay, I think that's the last one.
I wish I had the picture of the shovel, and when I went back to get it, the whole post has been removed. So
Okay, here's one more I think you sent late. Oh, that's one.
no,
Yeah,
that's just the same one.
yeah. So that's all the messages we have.
Yep. And I can no longer see comments. My internet's being wonky. So
And who in the world is the Kaiser guy, I wonder? We'll find
so
out.
that's our next rabbit hole.
Gotta find out who he is. But I mean, so who really thinks that this guy went and dug up this woman's grave with a shovel and Bex?
I don't know what to believe, honestly. I mean, that's a very bold thing to put out there several times if you didn't, and it's a very bold thing to put out there if you did.
Let's look at a picture. Let's see if I can get my pictures. I'll just open it from Discord. So then he sent us a news article.
Be nice, Kenny.
Let me get the news article that he sent us.
Angel said we dig up more shit than this guy did. You have no idea, girl. Half the stuff we dig up, we can't even put out there.
Right? Well, I mean, if we were shitty people, we would.
Yeah, we try to be somewhat, decent. I try.
Exactly. So then he sent you this article. This came from Gregory.
Yes, he's very thrilled we're getting the story out there and shared some stuff with us to put out as well.
Yeah, we're gonna read you some of the messages between the two of them.
Do you have those screenshots or do I need to open up my Facebook?
What screenshots?
I think I sent you some of me talking to him actually.
Oh, you can just. We don't have to show them. You can just read them. I'm sure everyone knows that we're not making fake screenshots up. No, we don't have to go
No,
through.
I don't have time for that, honestly.
Yeah, we don't have to go through all that, girl. But when I do get into PB and J's comment, I would like if Kaz wants to come up. I think Kaz has been digging so deep. I'm not even sure if Kaz's brain cells are working.
Yeah, and I feel like I've kind of stepped back a little bit from the Heidi and I've been too focused on this situation.
So this is April on the left and Stephanie Crohn's on the right. Stephanie is the one that was found in the water.
That could be the same person. Even the hair part.
They are similar. You cannot. I mean, I wonder if maybe that's what made him attracted to her at the McDonald's.
Kenny says Kessler was Greg's drug dealer and Kaiser was April's. Do you know that or are you asking?
That's. I don't think that's the case, Kenny.
Thank you, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
What did you call us earlier, Mar? Partners in crime?
Partners in crimes. Yeah.
I think that fits.
Thank you, Sylvia. Yeah, so this is I think they really resemble each other. The length of the hair, the haircut, they're both blonde. It's a little bit creepy. But this isn't really any information, it's just they talk about Tampa fishermen found human body parts in McKay Bay. Last month, police only had a leg and a part of a torso. At first, see, Kenny, there was part of a torso found. I remember when they found that part of the torso in Australia when Melissa Caddick's foot was found, and they said that it didn't belong to Melissa Caddick's, and they even said it had a belly button on it. And
Oh
then
no.
even a man, yeah, that went fishing, I mean, snorkeling or something with his family, he's never been found, and it didn't belong to him either. And I kept thinking, my gosh, how many people's bodies are floating around off the coast of Sydney? Or
That's so
Western,
disturbing.
right?
Honestly, it's enough to make you not want to go swimming. Ugh.
And the pencil, so then they saw Stephanie Crone's tattoo, and that's how they realized her family and PA that it was her. All the evidence, witness, surveillance footage, phone logs, presence of the victim's blood, and more pointed to a Lutz man named Robert Kessler. Crone-overholts had been staying in Kessler's home, supposedly a charitable act on his part after meeting her at McDonald's and learning she was living in her car. However, police weren't buying his story, quickly arrested him. 69 years old, living with his 8-year-old daughter, though the timing of that is sketchy considering he only got out of prison, his last stint of many, in 2013, and it gets more suspicious. The girl's mother has been identified, 34-year-old April Thompson, who reportedly died of an accidental overdose in September. Did he answer you about if they knew each other? If he knew Stephanie?
No, that's like the last message I sent. And he hasn't read that yet.
We are going to be honest. We first learned the girl's mother also died just a few weeks before This near stranger was invited, so that's going to probably be a no. And then murdered. Maybe was he trying to replace? Oh
Ooh,
God,
why is this reminding me of Don't Breathe now?
he was. He
That's what
was
it
trying.
was. Oh, no.
We mean the idea this guy would go from zero to dismemberment overnight in retirement age. We couldn't help wondering if we were getting the full story about April's death. We also have a note the striking likeness between the two women. What's that about? Oh shit. I didn't even read this article.
I haven't read it either. I just sent it right over to you.
During a pre-trial detention hearing on Wednesday, prosecutors continued to argue to remand Kessler into custody, which he did. No bail, no getting out of bail. Assistant State Attorney Scott Harmon made a shocking reveal to bolster the argument that Kessler was a danger to the community. Well, no shit. There might be another victim, he told the court. So we're still waiting for the third. Maybe it's not even a third. Maybe it's just a second. We have an unknown DNA profile in the same area where Crone-Overholt's body was dismembered. Oh, like they know where it was dismembered. Oh, I can't. Now we don't know for a fact whose DNA that is, but we know it's a female's and it's not Kessler's. Well, he's not a female and it's contained within an area of blood and it's not the victim. Whoa, he added. I would suggest to the court that alone shows a disregard for the safety of the community that now we potentially have two victims. Is it possible the blood is. Oh, God. Okay, girl, I can't read that. You have to take over. That I'm
Okay,
good.
let me screen bigger. It's okay.
On the we agree. I'm good.
Okay, we agree, obviously. If they think he chopped up just one woman, that's a good enough reason for him to be kept away from the public. But could it be two? Is it possible this blood is from the mother? April's sister told Tampa Bay Times that Kessler had a history of battery. Domestic violence leading to murder isn't much of a stretch. Anyway, we'll keep you up to date when authorities do finally figure out who the other blood came from. Considering they've solved so much of this already from just a leg, we expect we'll know more soon. What do you think happened?
My gosh. I don't know. There's so many
Same
things
question.
you gotta look into and investigate. Let's keep them up there. Poor girls. It's a coincidence they both came into the liking of Kessler. And I don't know, how do you go into
What are the odds of that?
a
He's
69-year-old man dismembering somebody? Yeah, what are the odds of that? You think that's the first time he's done something crazy?
Well, I mean, for me, it's just the timing of it. Like, she texted her mother November 11th begging for help. November 11th, he also has the time to do whatever he does to kill her, then chop her up, transport her body to wherever he dumps it, and they find her all on the same day.
Yeah, they
If it
found
were,
her leg.
I would have to imagine if it was my first time, it would probably take a little bit of time between breaks and trying to do the cleanup. I mean, to do it all that fast, I mean, it was a shitty job. Obviously, it was sloppy if they caught him so fast, but I don't know. I don't think it was a first time personally.
How can that possibly be the first time doing something like that?
You're
And then,
69 and you're just going to start killing people and taking them apart.
but you did it in a house where that little girl lives. Like what in God's, oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna use the little girl's room, but I'm gonna listen. Do you want to tell them a little bit about the
Yeah, the messages.
messages? Yeah, because I had no part of that. I was
Okay,
actually,
so I'm going to kind of read
but
through this a little slowly because
then I'm
I
gonna send Kaz the link, so after that she can come up when we do the PB&J
I
thoughts.
didn't know I was going to be reading these out loud. So I'm going to kind of read through it as I can, but I don't want to put any info out there that I shouldn't. So,
No, no, don't put any information that you
right.
shouldn't.
All right, we got this.
Or I'm gonna go use the little girl's room.
So I messaged him today, and I told him that, Mar and I have a channel, and we've been following April's case and Stephanie's as well, and that I had followed his story through the thread, and that I really just wanted to get his story out there, that there's basically an army of us, right? So I didn't expect him to fully write back today, but he did. And he said, I'm not much of an on-camera person, but I would be so happy to answer any questions you might have. I said, no obligation to be on camera at all. Would you be willing to do a phone call? If not, whatever works best for you. He said, sure, I don't have anything to hide. Whole thing has been a bizarre nightmare. And I said, I absolutely agree with you. When is the best time for you? And he said, anytime. He's got to go move for the settlement with the defense. He's got a bunch to deal with there. He said, give him about 7 days to resolve it, and then he'll be back with us to do it on air or whatever. I said, totally understandable. Again, just anything you're able to divulge about April or yourself in general, whatever you feel like talking about is perfectly fine. So he's asking me to send him a list of questions that he can answer in the meantime until he's able to get back with us after the settlement's over. He said he's sending that in tomorrow. It's going to take about 7 days for them to respond. And so he's going to call it around the 14th of December for us to be able to have the full scoop. So again, anytime between now and then, whatever questions we have or whatever questions you guys have that you want to send over to us, he's asking that we send those to him. And he said, also get in touch with Perez Hilton if you can on this. Probably the only news source that has reported an objectively reasonable overview of this, including the saga involving April. And that's what we just read to you, the article. And then he says that April's on the left. I said, thank you so much. And then asked him if he minded if I shared the thread that they were speaking on, or asked if I should wait and hold that back. He said, yes, share the thread. It's fine. I removed the parts that were sensitive, and I'll give you whatever else in a week. And thank you for coming with some semblance of journalistic integrity with all of this. Honestly, I do not think Kessler did any of this. To me, he was a super nice guy that really wanted to help the people he interacted with. And then from there, I asked him if he ever met Stephanie, asked him if he wanted to do a quick phone call just to ask the questions. And that's where we've left off. So again, if you guys have any questions, I would love to be able to ask him. And Lisha, I'm talking about Greg Perry. So the guy on that thread who's talking about pretty much digging her up, that he thinks that she's still alive. He's been married to her. He was married to her the 10 days leading up to her death. So all of that is really bizarre. I'm really not sure how to feel about any of it right now, but I definitely want to hear his side. Yeah, he did it in the little girl's room after she went to sleep, apparently.
That guy's a monster. Robert Kessler.
Yeah, they were married only 10 days. Isn't that nuts? A lot of people didn't believe it, to the point that he posted up their marriage record on the Facebook thread.
Yes, they did. They gave him a hard time. But then, for some reason, you have to tell him to go back to the message. Let's remember the message of the other man that claimed to be her husband. Who was the other man? And we're talking
That
about
was Jeff
April.
Woolridge.
Now, he is the biological father to the
Yes, and
TP.
it appears that they've had an on-again, off-again relationship for the last several years. Yes, Greg is the one who they wouldn't allow to interact with her in the apartment when she died.
Yep. He just wanted to say goodbye to his wife, and they're like, don't even touch her. But that could be because it's the crime scene. They don't want to like put fingerprints or his fingerprints there if someone else's. Like that even happened, unfortunately, with Kaneka Jenkins' mom when they pulled her out of the freezer.
We honestly don't know if she was around. From what I've heard, she was asleep when this was happening, but I don't know if she was in the room. I don't know how many bedrooms this house has. How would she sleep through all of that? I would imagine it's a kind of a messy, noisy situation.
It's a 3-bedroom house.
Okay, so he could have put her to sleep in another bedroom, I guess. But it's really weird to me how not only did he dismember the woman in the bedroom, but if you think back to those pictures we showed you the other night of the man on the bed, that was also happening in the LG's bedroom. So why
Yeah.
is all of this happening in a 7-year-old's bedroom?
Let's
And
go back
Kessler
and
was
see those
taking the
pictures.
video.
What'd you say, Kaz?
Kessler was taking the video, which can be seen through the mirror.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I'm gonna open that up real quick and we'll look at those one more time.
So she wasn't in the room at all when that was happening with the man, but it just still blows my mind that you would do that in your child's room in a whole house full of options, you know? You're going to go to your daughter's room to overdose, to give your friends drugs, to dismember a woman. That's so warped.
It is more than warped. Oh, Windows is working now. Good.
Kenny, I'm still trying to kind of pin that down. I'm a little lost in that too, but I feel like speaking to him, I might get a clearer answer.
Okay. I'm gonna leave screen, mute down so I can't see chat once I go.
Angel, real quick, this did just happen in the months between September and November.
So basically, right after April passed away, he was at the McDonald's, and here comes Stephanie, and the resemblance between the two of them is. We even said that before we spoke to Gregory. We were like, holy shit, they resemble each other.
And I just want to point this out one more time. I know that man on the bed might mean nothing, but if we have a woman who's overdosing potentially, and then we have that man on the bed, that picture was posted on August 31st, just days because they said April died early September. So I'm thinking days to a week maybe before April passed away of an apparent drug overdose. And we have a man in Robert's bed looking like there's something not okay going on with him.
Kaz, baby, you gotta turn your fan off.
Sorry.
No, you're good. It almost sounded tonight like a little bit of like African music.
It's only incy wincy tiny desk fan that I've got to keep my computer cool. That's all.
So here they're trying to yank. Okay, go ahead, girl. Here's a good. I mean, he looks like he's deceased, but we know he's not. But then you wondered if this was actually the biological father, Woolridge.
Yeah, so he still has, in the picture, you can tell parts of his muscles are still tense, which if he was dead, there wouldn't be that muscle tenseness. So he's not dead, but he's not okay.
And here at this one, it does look like she's checking for a pulse. And the dog's like, "Hey, what's going on?" But this is the picture.
Yeah, I still am not convinced that's anything other than a drug pipe on his lap. And if we're talking about laced heroin and laced meth, whatever it was laced, that adds up to me.
Who actually said though that? So it only comes from Gregory that Kessler was the one that was given the drugs.
Well, Kaiser mentioned drugs too, but it's still a little foggy with me exactly who was distributing the drugs. Bridget did mention that Kaiser had a picture posted of what she called an entire pharmacy in his house.
So iconic Is Lee Kaiser a female or a male?
A male.
Hmm.
We're gonna have to deep dive on him because I've only found him today.
Okay.
Yeah, he joined the party earlier today. Like her and I were talking about like while we were on the phone answering like 100 questionnaire to get through to the FBI, which was like ugh. He started to write her back, so he was writing her back in real time while we were on the phone with the FBI.
Gotcha. The reason I asked the question was because I've already started searching on Lee Kaiser from Florida, and so far they're too old. Well, I think they're too old to be involved, but I might be wrong.
He's an older guy, but I haven't gone to his profile or anything yet to even dig on him. So I'm not sure. There was just not enough hours today.
No.
And then they deleted the entire thread as I was trying to capture everything. So it was like 500 comments gone in a second.
Okay. Okay, so let's think, is there anything else right now with Heidi and Stephanie? I checked, there's no new
April
update.
and Stephanie.
I mean April. My gosh, now I got Heidi in the brain.
Yeah.
My brain just switched lanes.
I think I found him for you.
Oh, come on.
I appreciate
Come
it.
on. Come on, Kaz. You know you switched lanes back into the Heidi case. Come on, come on. You can admit it.
Just send me that link first. That's all I ask.
Yeah, I'm not actually. I'm actually doing a background check on this person, and that's how I found it.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we got some input on Heidi's case. Well, somebody's, what's going on, because this is like seriously would. And I mean, come on, you got the politics. I personally do not think Hunter Biden had anything to do with Heidi, but I think that Jason Golanis knew him, maybe had some type of business with him with that Russian deal thing, but I think he could have been using his name too to look more important. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I
and
also,
like I said,
but
sorry,
let me ask
Mark.
you, this, Kaz, and I was thinking about this today. We switched lanes to Heidi. Why would Golanis and his father have anything to do with her murder now when they've pled guilty? They're in prison for how long they're in prison, and then they're getting out. Like, what do they have? Then it leaves you with Jason. Like, why would Peter Golanis and his son like want to kill off Heidi? They already accepted the thing. They pled guilty. They're in jail.
That's true. They are in jail at the moment, but part of this little web of intrigue that I found was that Jason's brother Stephen, who I told you about, that's also intertwined with all this mess. There is lawsuits going between them while Jason's currently um, incarcerated. So when I saw that, I thought, well, why would Jason be suing Stephen? What's Stephen Sugarman got to do with all this? And then I just started delving a bit deeper, and it's all intertwined. Like I was saying to you the other day, every time I peel a little bit of this onion back, another baby onion pops out of the that part of the onion again. And I'm thinking, no, stop it. I want it all to just fan out very nicely, please.
I don't
Once
know.
we've cooked it.
I just don't feel like Jason Sugarman is. We have those pictures of that party too.
Oh yeah.
But I don't feel that I don't know. I am just the husband. I don't know. The ex-husband just rubs me the wrong way with all of the. But then again, Jason Sugarman hasn't said anything, so I can't go on anything he says.
No, well, he's pretty hampered by being where he is, um,
But we
it's
also have
just
to remember is that Jason Sugarman is not being tried by the federal government. He's being tried in a civil matter. It's a
by
big
the
difference.
SEC. No, 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 no. He's still being charged by the SEC. Uh, the SEC is still bringing charges against him, except instead of a criminal, it's a just like they did with my bestie Melissa Caddick. Instead of going, sorry, Ma, instead of going, for guns blazing, which they could have quite truthfully they did an alternative and went for a money. Well, if you're in jail and you don't know where all the assets are, well, you know, there goes the opportunity. So they go for the bank balance, and that's what the SEC is doing with Jason. So they can recoup these monies that the poor people that have lost it in this Ponzi scheme fiasco. And it doesn't help that Jason's brother Stephen, as I told you, he was the chief executive officer for the Bank of California.
Yeah, the bank
And
BANC.
yes, and he had to resign due to the SEC investigation and the fact that he allowed $100 million of the bank's capital to be used for the naming rights of the new soccer field, which is attached to his brother via his brother's wife, Elizabeth, to her father, the Goobers.
Nah, I don't believe Jason's brother has any involvement with Heidi's disappearance.
I'm not saying he physically did. I'm saying that the web of it all tied together, there's so many, and I don't believe in coincidences. There is so many things that are all intertwined. There's something behind that layer that I haven't found yet. And I'm going to find it.
Yeah,
Because,
it goes from Peter Galanis, the first man ever charged like that 25 years for white collar crime, all the way to the Goober family.
it's unbelievable.
But
It
I
really
don't
is.
think anything between that has anything to do with Heidi. But now this, I do believe in what this is said here. So it says, I know you feel, so this was written to me. I know you feel it was Jim Wayne who may have killed Heidi. No, I don't think Jim Wayne killed Heidi.
Yes, Jim. Leave Jim alone.
I think Wayne had, I mean, he could have had somebody do it for him.
Yeah, none of these players would have done it themselves.
So
Absolutely not.
then, no, no. So then this guy, so then this text, this is, I hope I don't laugh. So Jim is putting himself out there in Sugar and Facebook, Naeem Salam, aka the Sun's rice field, woman face palming face with tears of joy or not. Sugarman, I believe, was using Heidi's name on investment advisory documents to possibly hide money that he should be handing over to the folks he stole it from. Okay, that I totally agree with. But I think maybe it was more of, if anything, the Galanis boys that were making Jason maybe do something like this. I just don't feel that Jason was like, I don't know, I could be wrong. But all those, like, man, you're gonna jeopardize your wife's father's being the co-owner of the Warriors and what other teams? The soccer team, the baseball team,
Yeah, the Dodgers,
or he
his
goes to
affiliation with Sony Pictures, Sony Music.
yeah, or he goes to jail. He has to pick one, but he shouldn't have used Heidi to hide his stolen money. And I definitely do not want his shady tactics to be swept under the carpet once Heidi is found. So if that's the case, how does it? There's so many things, and you got the ex-husband saying about the how he wanted the laptop back, and I want my laptop back. Like, I don't know. Just this
See,
is so much. Okay, one sec, Kaz. As for Ricefield Naeem Salam, where is he? Why would he possibly jeopardize? Mark probably said, "Don't even get involved in this." Why is he silent? Why were they on again, off again for 3 years? Why was he seen with Heidi and Seven the dog at Hope? And I don't believe that for 1 second. I want to see proof of that. I will not believe that until I see actual proof. Had her girlfriend picked her up there in 2020 because Heidi and Rice had a fight? Maybe, I don't know. But then one of her girlfriends did say that she picked her up there, right?
correct.
And then you have two girlfriends saying that they have no idea what ties Heidi to that building.
There's many layers to our dear Heidi.
But that is strange that. So who is the girlfriend that claims she picked up Heidi there in 2020? And why would Heidi and I mean unless he had a place there. I guess we're going to have to dig up his background too. See if he ever lived in downtown Los Angeles. Maybe he got a promotion to San Francisco. So
I'm on
one
it.
of So it says one of your live chat members said Jim just moved his shop to a new location and that he was super nice, as was Heidi. Well, Jim was very nice on the phone. All most divorces get super ugly. I know that. And it sounds like you do too. No, I didn't have any ugly divorce. My divorce was great. I didn't even have to go into court. So my ex ran, okay, so small claims. Hold on a second, I'm confused. Okay. I know this sounds, and it sounds like you do too. My ex ran to small claims court on September 11, 2001, right after the building collapsed over a blender he wanted out the divorce. Woman face palming, faced with tears of joy. No way would we want our exes in the picture doing some of the things Jim has. I think it is extremely sad what he did, how he treated her, tortured her, in my opinion. If he didn't make her disappear, he is going to lead a regretful and sad rest of his days. I feel so badly that all those documents involving their divorce were put out for the world to see. If it was me and I was found safe, those docs being spread all over the world would definitely land me in a psychiatric center. 100% sure. It's so sad, crying face. I feel so sorry for her mom, her son, her friends, and family. I am still praying for a miracle that she is in witness protection program or the son, Rag Mag, paid her for a story and have here in some tropical island right now. Folded hands, folded hands, folded hands, folded hands. I'm going to send you some info on Sugarman to go over with the ladies. Remember, even if Heidi encountered foul play at the Hope and Flower while maybe getting her oil changed locally in downtown Los Angeles, Shakerman, Jason Sugarman should still be making muffins for the prison guards and using bookkeepers kept while hiding millions that he stole. And then we get into Peter Kolanis and all of these things that Sugarman did. Gambino, Galanis, Hurst. Like, there's a lot of players in this game. I'm just going to scroll through this list. I am not reading them all. But look at these players. And I think a lot of them were at that party with the pictures. Like, I know all about. And then we go into Jonathan Stemple, Gary Hurst. Like, who hasn't heard of Gary Hurst? So that just goes into everything that about Jason Sugarman's past, but I don't think that's really relevant to what happened to Heidi. I mean, it could be part of people that are scamming people, but I don't think any of those people had anything to do with Heidi's disappearance. Well, Sugarman could have.
I don't know. I don't know.
Do I think Sugarman did it himself? No, categorically no. He wouldn't do it with his hands. That's something that is too beneath him to do. Did he have a hand in Heidi's demise? I categorically do, in my heart, believe that. Yes. How? That's another good question. I mean,
I don't
as
know.
I've reiterated this so many times, you've got to be able to get into that building. Are there ways to get in? Yes. Are there ways to get to where she was? Not without those fob keys or a pass code, as we know. So somebody linked to the Hope building has got a lot to answer for.
Yeah, so some big crime mafia is going to be linked to a building like Jason Sugarman supposedly has the 40th floor. Now, I'm going to show one video that Boots took for us inside one of the apartments, but condos. Excuse me, the 500-foot condo. Like, I
And
honestly think like my garage alone could probably fit 4 cars in it, and it's definitely bigger than 500 square feet. I mean, I couldn't even imagine living.
well, remember we read that this building is 53% from memory more expensive than any other building of its quality.
It's all about location, location, location.
Sure is with this one. It's
But
going to be interesting, though. There's a lot of things shady about the ex-husband and that 9-year custody battle, how he wanted the kids. And, I was totally for Sugarman and them definitely using Heidi as a cover-up. So if Jason Sugarman could put this on Heidi and her being gone, then he can probably walk. I said all this from the beginning. But still, there's something about the husband that rubs me the wrong way.
oh, it rubs me the wrong way too. But there's a coincidence that one of the penthouses on the 40th floor went up for lease the
It
day
is.
after.
It's the
Hmm.
PH. It's the PH too. It's $23,000 a month. We showed it the last time we spoke about Heidi.
Mm. There's
Yeah,
so many it's like I said, there's so many cobwebs in this spider web. It's unbelievable.
Tangled webs.
Oh my gosh.
That's why I just don't even know what to think about it at this point. I don't think it was either of them. I
hang
think
on,
it was
guys.
somebody hired. By who? I don't know.
By who? Hmm. Do you think if it was a big boss, like not even like a hit, you really think that if somebody had ties to the building, to where Sugarman supposedly had a building, he played cards on the 40th floor? We know in the Hope building, it goes to the 40th. And how tall is the flower? 36.
Yeah.
So we know it's the Hope building. Somebody made an allegation that Sugarman or somebody played cards up there on the 40th floor penthouse. So before I show the video, here is the picture that you need, the FOD. Oh, see.
Hey, Kara.
It's just all bizarre, iconic. It really is. I've never known something as intricate as this. With all the players, are they involved? Are they not involved? I just hope that the um, police have a heck of a lot more information that, again, they once again aren't giving out.
Yeah, this is one of the most onions of a case I've ever come across as well. I feel like every time we find something, it leads us to something crazier.
I know it's like none of these players are clean in any way, shape, or form, and that's unusual when you get all these people that are all intertwined that are not clean. And by not clean, I mean they've got some dodgy stuff going on.
And I
Like,
feel the same as you. There are no coincidences.
yeah, well, even though Goober's worth a goober a lot of money, he lost when he was originally an attorney, and he got suspended not once, but not twice, but 3 times. And in the end, he gave up his license to work as an attorney. Then you've got Jason, who has got so many dodgy things going on, it's not funny. Then you've got Stephen, who wrote a book and said you should never ever do business with any family, friends, or associates. And he goes and does it anyway, and ends up getting, having to leave the biggest job of his life.
I don't know. I mean, it's easy for Sugarman to be the one that did it, but why would he do it now? Like, why wait till now? I don't know. I just think it's a lot of options, unfortunately, to what happened to her.
I just
There's the
thought,
key fob picture, though, that Mo and Boots took.
Yeah, she did a really great job.
oh, amazing to get up onto the 8th floor like she did. How she got up there, we don't. Do you know, Mark?
Yeah, we're gonna go in the video. We're gonna play the video next real quick. She was actually in the building.
Yeah, yeah.
And she went down the alleyway as well. She got everything.
And here it
Parking
says, please enter your destination. Yeah, I've got like 15 minutes left. I actually work in the morning, but look, please enter your destination. So, this is going to be interesting. And I know they said Thursday they were back at the landfill looking for Heidi, but I don't believe it. I think that some news would have been there and caught it. I just something's weird.
Well, I think iconic. You said, that is there a possibility that they found something very quickly?
Well,
Hence,
that's
they
what I
haven't been
thought.
back.
I thought maybe they found there's a reason why they haven't been back.
But
So
then they
you
resumed the search. I think it was like a 2-day break, and then they were back out there searching again.
I wonder if they have to have trauma time off.
This is a fast video.
The people across the way on that building over there, terrifying.
Right? And then we have, let me show the one in the garage. We might as well go for it. Fasten your seatbelt, guys. Boots drives fast.
I feel like she was nervous she was going to get in trouble, so she was just trying to get it as quick as she could.
I'm gonna have to record it and slow it down because I want to see if we can actually see if there's any doors. So let's see if we see any doors opened to the building. And you can see the pad at the elevator too. So it's an elevator there to the. Did you guys see any doors?
Was that black thing next to the elevator door a door, or was that just a panel?
Let's let it play and we will not. Let me mute it. I don't think I saw anything but an elevator. Nope, I just see an elevator right there to the right.
And the thing beside the elevator, is that the compactors?
Yeah, what was I was just gonna say, is
Yeah, it
that
looks
the
like a door. It
garbage
looks like
compactor?
Oh,
Right there. This right here.
well, it says clearance something, but
It's either 5.7 or 6.7. It could be 8.7. Shit, it could be 9.7. But when you see her coming up to the door, right here, even though it's blurry, I don't see another door there.
No, so where's the stairwell to get up there? Question. Oh, hang on, Mark. Underneath there is a blue door underneath what I thought was the compactors. There is, looks like
No,
a blue door.
I think these are those poles that these right here.
Oh, okay. It threw me off.
Yeah, that's the poles that she's driving by. And then I don't see a door. But I wonder if that is what the garbage truck would get the garbage from. That's definitely some type of loading system right there. Is that a trash compactor? I don't want to know. Oh, look at that close up of it.
we'll have to ask her because I'm sure she noticed.
Mm. Kenny, what is that? Hey, Kara. Yeah, they say that. See, and that's another thing. Why did the husband have to talk about the abuse on the meds? Like, that's just the phone, the laptop, the abuse. How come he didn't go check on her living 13 miles away but went to look at the building? Like, you guys could keep telling me this. I get it. I know that Sugarman's a shithead. I know that Galanis and his father are bigger shitheads. I know this. But still, something with the ex husband does not sit well with me. And that's the way I still feel. Oh, Alicia. Kaneka Jenkins case, she said. Maybe we can show the video, the picture on the floor. There's no cameras in there.
Did Boots say how she got into the building, Ma?
She went on a tour.
Okay.
That's why we canceled the tour with the Beverly Hills man. The only thing she didn't get that I wanted to see is the fire. Like we have to know where the fire. I have to see the evacuation to the fire, which is right there. Exit.
What is that black thing on the ceiling to the right?
That's a camera.
It looks like a camera. I thought there weren't any.
Well, that looks like a camera,
It really
and
does.
and it looks like an exit. So the question is, there's a key fob. It looks like kind of here, right? And there's a key fob here. So do you need a key fob to exit the building in case of an emergency? Like if listen, if my place was on fire and I was running out of the 20th floor, I don't think I would care about grabbing a key fob.
No, it's every fire standard in the world states that fire doors must be one way. They have to
No,
be.
I get that, but that's a
Yeah,
key fob unless it's the door on the left. But you can see a key fob right here.
Oh, I
well,
I
then
die
that,
in that building. I'm not good at keeping up with stuff.
yeah,
But look at what is that?
that definitely
It's a
looks.
camera for sure. It looks like one, but I thought they said there weren't cameras.
Now maybe there's no cameras on the 40th floor. See, that's where we were getting to the penthouse. Maybe we should consider the tour still and get a tour to the penthouse.
I think it's worth a shot because she didn't get a lot of footage. She got some, but she was nervous, and if somebody's giving us an actual tour, we'll probably be able to see a lot more.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a camera. So somebody lied about no cameras on the floor. Well, you would think that there would be the camera by the elevator on the floor for sure. Now I want to see a picture of the elevator on the floor. And then we've got the lobby. Yeah, Mo and Boots got these pictures for us. Like we didn't steal these off her channel. So you guys know she actually sent these to us. Um, um,
Kira, I'm sorry that that weirds you out when a channel says that. Angel was mentioning that she wanted to know some of the things that we find that we are not able to share. And I know that that might sound weird, but sometimes you do find names, especially of minors in some situations. And if you were to release those, how cruel would that be for that child to come back and hear their information? I just can't do that, you know?
yeah, we
I'm
can't
sorry that
really.
weirds you out. I can't.
Wait, what weirds? Wait, I just
Kara
realized.
said she gets kind of weirded out when a channel says stuff like that. It weirds her out. She can keep things back without saying she keeps things back. But Angel had a direct comment or two about that, so I was addressing Angel, and I won't release certain information on minors. I'm sorry.
Yeah. But Kara, we'll tell you we did call the FBI today. Yeah, she's like 7. So that's the lobby. So so Boots was in. I mean, talk about boots on the ground. Boots was in the building. Boots, are you in chat? Yeah, Boots was in the building. I love
Be
that
awesome
sound.
if I can't do it, but you might be able to, Mark, be able to get the actual plans of the building, like the full-on plans that
Yeah,
were lodged.
we were actually looking for the blueprints of that building. I couldn't find them yet, but I'm still looking because
Because
I
that will
wanted.
tell us whether or not they had cameras going in, because it would have the
Oh,
security plans and everything.
yeah, there's definitely cameras going in. Tell them what Boots said about getting past the first door. Iconic.
So Boots said that in order to get through the door, you need a series of keys and fobs. It's not like a one key get in the building. You've got to, it's a series. So first you get through the front door with that, and then you need another thing to get onto the elevator. So it's a very secure entry situation, if that makes sense.
So that goes back to my question is Heidi had to get in there by somebody, taken in by somebody.
And that also leads me to how did the dog get on a completely different floor than she was apparently on? Because that would mean whoever put the dog there and maybe had her on the 40th floor would need access to both. And how many people would have that access?
Well,
Okay, well, let's not speculate though. We heard the dog was definitely found on the 28th floor, but the 40th floor of Heidi being found is complete speculation at this point.
well, is it speculation by the fact that the tenants said that there was blood on the outside the garbage chute and the drywall was taken off and it's been replaced?
Did they say that was on the 40th floor?
Yes.
Who?
I sent that to you, didn't I?
I'm sure you did, but I'm saying who did it come from that it was on the because
It was the
on the
physical. Sorry, go on.
on the 40th floor we know that there are three buildings up there. There is the PH1, the PH2, and the PH3. Oh my God, Leisha, I wish. No, I don't want to find it. I want to go hang out with her and her new prosthetic foot. But only the PH2, supposedly, I'm sure it's still available, but that's the one that's still available to be rented. So then we got the PH1 and the PH3. Mo and Boots say that they might know the actual owners because they're like condos. Some are owned by LLC realtors and some are owned by individual people.
Yeah.
But we do know the realtor who we've been speaking to, who's showing the PH2.
Yes. And who does he have ties to? So
Um,
he would have to have a fob key to get in and enough fob keys to get up onto several floors because they have different ones in on different floors. So
and we have to remember also too. Iconic and I were saying something. Oh, I forgot now. Something about I can't remember what I was just gonna say. Like wouldn't a realtor that had multiple build places for rent in that building? Like, what about if somebody had like a realtor FOD card? Considering that some of those people were in the real estate building. I mean, the real
exactly,
estate business.
they'd have like a master fob
A
key.
master FOD key to the building because they're showing units. Like, why would they have to go through each time showing a unit?
I mean, that makes
Yes, Leisha,
logical sense.
it's Kaz. It's like a fan or something.
Oh, sorry, I thought I moved it.
She doesn't. She wants us to listen to Darth Vader.
So sorry, guys.
It's either that or it sounds like a son of a baby's heartbeat in a sonogram.
Boom, 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 boom. I'm just doing some ASMR. That's all.
Yeah, so that's I mean the 40th floor. Okay, so then we have to ask ourselves who on the 40th floor was she brought to PH1, PH2, or PH3? And this is her walking. Now, guys, you have to remember a picture of Heidi, and I can't find it. She was, it was the video, I think, of her going down the alley, and she's got those black parking posts in the video near her, and they're on her left as she's walking forward. Well, those are in this video, so guys, and watch this door to the left. Okay, right after the graffiti. When this girl crosses the street, you'll see those poles.
And the door that opens to the left.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So it's right when she crosses. You see, like right here behind her, these poles. Focus on these right here. Because when Heidi's walking down the alley and it's on the video, you can see the poles on her left side. These are the poles. And watch this going to come up right here. This door opens. Now, if I was there, I would have been screaming, Boots, go in, go into grab the door, grab the door. Go in there. Oh my God, grab the door. But this is definitely the alley that she's going down. Because right there, you can see the black poles. Clear as day. And that door opens. Maybe she was trying to get to the door.
We definitely know you can come out.
Yeah. I don't know what that is. I don't even know if that door is honestly connected to the Hope and Flower prop. It might be, but I don't know. We were going to ask Boots, but I do not know. But you would think, but think about it though. In the video, let me get the video of Heidi's surveillance. Hang on. When you think about it, you can see her. She passes the door then, because you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, in all the buildings, I mean, I've worked in, I flew over to Houston when we were buying a building when I used to work for a real estate developer, and I did the audit on things over there, and all the buildings have exactly the same type of fire escapes as we have over here, and it's the same code almost, to the letter almost, and it states that every floor must have a one-way door leading onto the fire escape, which leads down to the ground floor, which everybody can then go to the designated areas. So, but you
Leisha,
can't get in the door; it must close directly on it because that's what forms the seal for the floor.
well, that's here too. The door closes automatically by itself, the fire door. And some buildings, a lot of buildings have it to where if you actually open the fire door, an alarm will go off.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it is. It just automatically shuts, and it's a very heavy door.
It absolutely is.
So, yeah, that's how it is. It automatically shuts. It's a metal heavy door. Some of them say if you push the door, an alarm will go off. Okay, so let's watch Heidi. She's going to walk down the alley. If I watch it on YouTube, I can probably slow it down, but you'll see what I'm talking about. It's clear as day. There they are. There's the 4 poles. So she's walking up on the other side, and that door should be coming up on her right. I also do not see the paint marks on the floor with Heidi walking that they have where she's walking.
I've just noticed that 7 looked off
And
to the
see
right
there?
then.
Yeah, that's when she looks up. And I do not know, Alicia, if that's the alleyway between the two buildings. But Nicole here, I forget what her name is. I believe that's the one that brought the cell phone to the ex-husband.
Yeah.
What is her name?
Danielle.
Danielle. I believe that she's like, why in God's name did you bring the cell phone to Jim if you know they've been battling for 9 years with the kid?
Well, I wouldn't call her a good friend. I'm sorry. If a girlfriend
Exactly.
did that to me.
And it's the same friend that said that she has no idea why Heidi would be at that building, but she had a key to Heidi's house. It's a lot.
Yes.
So we know the car is found. That's no longer missing. And that was found October 4th, right? Yeah. Wow. A month
November
ago.
4th, yeah.
November 4th. I keep saying October.
Something about the 4th of October happened for you, Ma. That's why.
Yep. But I don't see anything new on her. Like, even if you go to Twitter, it's just like they talk about her for a day and then they're done.
Yeah. It's just like a news blanket has gone over the case and there's nothing out there.
Yeah, it's almost weird.
It is.
Let me see what's new on Twitter with Heidi.
It was about 6:20-ish, aka 1823, when she was walking.
Yeah, everything is from the 29th, and the only thing new, honestly, just talking about the landfill. Nothing new. December 3rd, the last one too, from Derek Meyer Galanis. I don't know if we saw this one. Let me pause it and then okay, I don't know if we saw this one. But what makes me think is like, why would they stop? They said it was going to take 10 days to search the garbage. Why did they only go for one and stop?
Well, there was that article 2 days later that they had resumed, but I haven't heard anything else since then.
How can anyone possibly think that they resumed anything when you know damn well that we would have seen helicopter footage or something going on?
I'm not sure. They put it out on Thursday, though.
I don't know if I believe that because we called there and that lady goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about that." I was like, "Yeah, okay." I called the garbage dump guys. Yes, I did.
I don't think they wouldn't believe you at this point. Who
Hello,
wants to call?
Chris. Yeah, but if they were back at that landfill, we would see new helicopter footage or pictures. The media would know. Like, they wait. They sit on like little flies on poos. Like, oh, as soon as they move to the landfill, we're gonna be there. Or they're probably sitting there waiting for them to show up.
But are we seeing constant footage on the landfill they're looking for Kathleen in?
I don't know if they're actually still there looking for her. I really don't even think they are. The only thing new is that they're putting pictures out.
Yeah,
A
the front
couple
and back,
blocks.
several hundred flyers printed.
Yeah, a couple blocks from where she was last seen at the Walgreens. Well, no, excuse me, where her phone was found in a dumpster by a homeless man at a Walgreens.
No, listen, if I can bring any light to Heidi's just. No, listen, if I can bring any light to Heidi's disappearance, I'm happy to do so. And I'm not going to stop talking. I don't care how dangerous anyone perceives it to be. You be safe out there, and I'm sorry for your loss. No, listen, if I can bring any light to Heidi's disappearance, I'm happy to do so. And I'm not going to stop talking. I don't care how dangerous anyone perceives it to be. You be safe out there, and I'm sorry for your loss.
He is like he really needs to put a gag ball in his mouth.
Yeah,
And
he's
I
not.
said it. I said gag ball. Because he's talking way too much. I mean,
And he put out a book.
Yeah, and the book, and he does not care, and he's just talking so openly about his father and his brother, and Gambino and Golan's his brother's best friend is Tommy Gambino. Like, what the entire F? Like, you know what, Derek? I would talk to Derek on the phone and ask him a few things. Of course I would. But as far as, I don't know, he is just, I don't want his brother's affiliates to show up at my little house in Maine.
Gonna have to go into witness protection.
I mean, I hope they're used to like a lot of snow. Yeah. He just talks a lot, I think. Yeah, right, Alicia? That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, Tommy Gambino is his buddy. They claim, Derek Galanis says, I would love for him. Let me go leave him a message on that video.
You left him one on his Instagram.
I know, but he doesn't get back to me.
Kenny, I don't know what you missed. When did you leave?
I keep messaging Derek Galanis. Like, I don't want to like do a live and have like the FBI show up at my house. I mean, that might be exciting. But hey, I just spoke to you guys on the phone. What's up?
Is who in jail? Derek? Derek is not in jail.
No, Derek is not in jail. Derek is out flapping his lips like a little songbird. And like that little thing just said, he doesn't care. No, he's not in jail, Derek. His brother and his father are in jail. His brother Jason Galanis and his father. I can't remember. Isn't it two Peters? Peter Goober and Peter Galanis?
I feel like it was Peter. Yeah, I think that's right.
I think we got two Peters.
I think the dad gets out in like 5 years and the brother gets out in 9.
Yeah, it's Peter Galanis. No, maybe not. I don't remember anymore. Oh yeah, John. No. John Peter Galanis is the father. The brother's Jason. The son's Jason Galanis.
I got confused because there's also John Butler, the guy you were talking to see the apartment.
Right? And then Jason Sugarman is married to Elizabeth Sugarman. And her father is the Goober man. Now, isn't his name Peter
No,
Goober?
Goober, yeah.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Goober.
Peter Goober. So it's John, Peter, and Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Derek Alanis wants to tell his story. Maybe he decided he wants to do it now because they're both in prison. I don't know. But yeah. I'm not sure what he's going to get from telling his story.
Probably a death sentence.
Right, exactly. Unless he knows what happened to Heidi. I don't know, Alma, why police would enter her house with guns drawn. They did the wellness check on the 20th, and then I think the 29th, 19th, or one of those days, they went back in a full raid with guns drawn and everything.
I didn't know about that, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It was the 28th with the check, the welfare check. I think it was the 19th. What happened to Kaz?
She had to go take some pain medicine.
Aw.
She's had a rough couple days, guys. A rough couple weeks, probably.
And that's really it. Like, where is Heidi? Either, I don't understand why they only did the search for one day unless they either found something or they got a clue that that was not the place where she was. Maybe they set it up to look like she was there. And I do not believe for 1 minute her boyfriend had anything to do with this.
I do not either.
And this is the picture that bothers me. I wish it wasn't so pixelated, and I could see actually her face. She's looking at something. No purse, casual, got the sweater on that she wore from the day, so it's the same outfit. This is about 18-22 hours. Is that how you say that?
1823?
Something like that.
I don't know.
So it's 6:30 Los Angeles time PM. And she's looking up like, did someone call for her? Is she looking up to see which way she's going? I mean,
Maybe there's someone on a balcony she's looking for. There's a lot of options there.
yes, there are. But I know you couldn't be trying to look up to the 40th floor. I mean, I guess you could try. So we have to find out who. I'm going to look into her boyfriend, Naeem, see if he lived in Los Angeles at one time. Yeah, that video of her in the alley, Alma, it looks like it's definitely darker than this picture. This one doesn't even seem like the alley to me. It almost looks like she's coming by that area where the cars go in and out for the valet parking and probably the front of the building.
Right.
But I don't know. And then we do know her car was found a couple blocks away at a residential parking area. And she's wearing the sweater that was wrapped around her waist, leaving for the game. Which is that picture. Let's look. I mean, Wayne was nice on the phone, don't get me wrong, but
He was.
like when you get like this, like I don't know, it's just a feeling I have. It's just something with him is not right with me.
I think it was the way he threw her under the bus for no reason while she was missing. I think that was really cruel on his part.
It was more than that. It was that, and it was after the court papers came out, which you probably led Daily Mail to for a little bit of chump change. He moved his salon supposedly. I don't see him owning a salon anymore. And then he had 2 houses, 2 properties at one time that were worth over 1 million, 1.2, I think one was, and like 1.4 that he got rid of. And then supposedly he moves into a house with a rent like $6,000 to $7,000 a month. There's so much weird shit that doesn't. Kenny, I am not leaving Jim alone. I'm not bugging Jim, but I'm not leaving him out of the mix. He's not the only one in my mix, but the dude is in the mix. It's just weird. You got to go from the kid's text messages, how worried the kid was, the weird text messages. Oh, why didn't you go check on her? Oh, well, it was her time with the kid. Meanwhile, the kid has her friend Danielle go check at the house. No, something's just weird. Something's just weird with that whole situation.
The whole situation.
And then we won't even get into the microchip on the dog and the phone calls to the house. Well, now we know how he got the phone because Danielle decided to bring Jim to the house. Then they supposedly both left the house, and then Danielle brought the phone to him later. But you don't mention the laptop, but the boss, Sugarman's calling you for the laptop like he already knows you have the laptop. But Heidi's gone. You know what? You guys, I don't. There is something so wrong with that whole entire situation. Yeah, Alicia, I'm not putting, it's easy to put it on Sugarman. Let's kill Heidi, blame it on Heidi. If Heidi can't show up for court, that's reasonable doubt. The case is dropped. I get all that. But still, at the end of the day, I don't get how Jim was acting like such an asshole, and then how worried he was, and then even the extra things he added, like the Nerf balls down her shirt, and just, I don't know. He wanted custody so bad. And I don't see Galanis and the father doing it. They've already said, you know what, we did it. We're guilty. Here's 20 whatever $million back, and we're going to go serve our time in federal prison. They're probably living in a suite.
Alma, Jason delivered the muffins.
Have you seen the Muffin Man? Yeah, that's Jason Galanis.
Lisha said she thinks Jim was super bossy, and that's why Danielle gave him the phone. Which I could see that.
Okay, I get all that. But why would you... why wouldn't she just give it to the police? You know your friend's missing. Why would they come? Where was the welfare check on the 20th? Why then wouldn't you say, oh, her phone was left here and her laptop, but her ex-husband Jim has it now, and Sugarman's calling because they want the laptop. So now that makes it look like, oh, Heidi was killed for the laptop. So now let's go work on getting the laptop, but we already killed Heidi. Who really believes that? I don't believe any of it. There's Jason and his wife.
Angel, what's his house? Did she live in his house? Do you want to tell them? Did you tell them about the situation with who owns Heidi's house?
No.
Okay, I think that's what she's asking.
No, you're going to have to tell him that. I forget it. Something with...
Okay. So basically, Jason Sugarman's brother...
The brother,
works for the Bank of California.
BANC.
Yeah, bank. And that house is owned by the Bank of California, which is another weird little situation, I guess.
Now, she was probably living in a great setup for a cheaper rent. Yeah, she might be a pushover for sure. I mean, like I've said it from the beginning, Jason Sugarman is definitely the most obvious person in the business to get rid of Heidi and then you get to probably walk. But to do it now, I don't know. I don't know. In the downtown Los Angeles building and leave the laptop that you're so worried about getting back with the ex-husband, that just rings so many bells for me. Supposedly, Alicia, they asked her if Sugarman said to jump, she would say, how high? Right?
Right. And then in the same instance, when Jason Galanis would tell Jason Sugarman to jump, Jason Sugarman would say how high.
Exactly.
So it's kind of a little puppet master thing. I don't even, everywhere you look at this, I can't make up my mind on who did this.
I mean, Galanis could have totally told Sugarman to put it in his name, because remember what Galanis said about how excited Jason Galanis was when he met Sugarman because of who his wife was. Like, he got very excited that he was going to be attached to the Goober family. Could be a lot of things. All right, guys, I got to wrap it up. It's 2:30 in the morning for me.
Oh, Lord, I didn't even realize.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everyone, thank you for coming in. Iconic, thank you.
Thank you, too. And thank you, guys.
Yeah, movie night was fun last night. We're going to watch part 2. This week is coming up towards the weekend.
I loved that.
Oh, I'm sure, Alicia. I'm sure, but to jeopardize your wife's father's business career, and you got 2 little kids, I don't know. I see Galanis doing it from jail before Sugarman. I just don't feel it was Sugarman. I feel it was not Sugarman. Could be the ex-husband. It could be like a higher hit, maybe from the Galanis family. I'm not ruling that out, but I don't think that Jason made the call and said, we got to get rid of her, or was coaxed to putting things into her name. I think the Galanis is the mastermind behind that shit. And his father taught him well.
Well, they do have the experience, so.
Yeah. And Derek is scary. He talks way too much. I don't want to. All right, guys. Thank you, Iconic. Thank you, Kaz, if you're listening. Everyone have a great night. Hey, Shredder. You're late, girl. Beep, beep. Back up. Beep, 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 beep. All right, guys. Stay vigilant and keep your baby safe.
Good night.
Good night. Jinx. Jinx, girl.